Well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watts2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Jets versus Broncos. This is like an annual tradition now. It's almost like, remember about 20 years ago when every year it felt like the Jets were going out to Oakland, California to play a game? This is back when the town of Oakland actually had professional sports, you might remember. But it was always seemingly Jets Raiders at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. And now this is, I think, the third straight years it's Jets Broncos, except now Denver's got to come east. So that will be a very welcome change. But the game will be Sunday at 1. The last Sunday 1 o'clock game, I believe the Jets have until December. I think there might be one more. I think they have one Sunday 1 o'clock game between the months of October and November. I think it's the game at New England until the month of December. But the Jets come in at 2-1. Broncos come in at 1-2. I hate this Broncos team. They finished me off in the survivor pool last week when they beat Tampa Bay, which not a whole lot of people saw coming. So let's preview this game and do a little scouting report on Denver. So first, let's talk about when the Broncos offense has the football against the Jets defense. Now, entering Sunday, the Broncos had just one touchdown in 7 red zone trips, but they scored a touchdown on their first possession. They just kept rolling from there. They scored on 4 of their first 6 possessions, had 136 yards rushing, their best day of the year. A lot of people are wondering, hey, after this one win, does rookie quarterback bonix have it all figured out? Is he now a trustworthy quarterback being mentored by Sean Payton? Calm down, okay? We know, especially this year, the NFL is a week-to-week proposition, especially early on. The Broncos have 3 offensive touchdowns in 3 games. That's it. And remember, Tampa Bay played this game without Antoine Winfield, maybe the best safety in the game, plus their 2 top defensive linemen in Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey. They got no pressure on bonix all day. He had a clean pocket to work with. Most quarterbacks can thrive in that type of a situation. Now, he did throw 2 near interceptions. He also lost a fumble that was wiped out by a Tampa Bay penalty. Now, we know the Jets are great at getting pressure on quarterbacks, and I'm glad they get bonix very early in the season. Early on is when you want to play these rookie quarterbacks. Now, Nix is completing 62% of his passes, but he's only completing 44% of his passes when he's pressured. That's 27th in the league. Also, he's thrown for 600 yards, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has 2 rushing touchdowns, and he's been sacked 4 times. So he does have some mobility. He can escape pressure pretty well. Jets defense has to keep him contained in the pocket. You can't have him running loose. Now, wide receiver, his primary targets are Joshreynolds and Courtlandsutton. Reynolds came over this offseason from the Detroit Lions. He was limited in practice with an Achilles injury. He is expected to play. Courtlandsutton, capable wide receiver, but it seems like people have been expecting another level from him for a couple of years now. Last year, he had only 59 catches. That's less than 4 per game. But 10 of those 59 catches were touchdowns. So Sutton's sort of a boomer bust type of player. He's almost like Gabe Davis at this point. This year, he has a team-high 25 targets, only 12 catches. They're okay players, but they're not players that are going to keep you up at night. Okay. Now, at running back, Javontewilliams, he's been getting pushed into a little bit on the back burner a little bit in favor of tylerbadie. Now, Badie had been on the practice squad the first 3 games, getting promoted. Now he's on the 53-man roster. You've also got rookie power running back Audric Estime from Notre Dame, but he's on IR. Jets won't have to worry about him. Williams is averaging just 2.2 yards per carry, as is Jaleel McLaughlin, who the Jets saw last year a little bit. Williams, sadly, has never really been the same since he tore his ACL, but he does get a little bit of a role in the passing game. But Badie has been sort of the home run threat. He's averaging 8.6 yards per attempt on just 10 carries, but one of those runs was a 43-yard run. So half his yards were on one run for 43 yards. So outside of that, it's 9 rushes for 43 yards. They do have a pretty decent O-line. Garrettbolles, 32 years old. He's been at left tackle for a long time for Denver. He's a little better at pass blocking than run blocking. quinnmeinerz at right guard, really good. 5 pressures and no sacks allowed through 3 games. Mike McGlinchey, their right tackle, is on IR. And Alex Palczewski played on Sunday. held his own, only had 2 pressures. I will say this about the offensive line. They haven't seen a whole lot of great defensive lines so far. Seattle's fine. Tampa Bay, again, I told you they were out there without their top 2 defensive tackles. Let's see. All right. The Jets are going to be very well off if they can make bonix uncomfortable early in the game. I don't expect a lot in the running game from the Broncos. They need to use a lot of trickery and misdirection if they're going to work their way down the field. So I guess if I have a concern from the defensive side, if I'm the Jets play a very aggressive style of defense. They cannot be over-aggressive and allow that misdirection to turn into a big chunk play. Okay, C.J. Mosley for the Jets will be a game-time decision. Right now, it seems unlikely he's going to play. He was just listed as doubtful. So again, do not rush him, especially when you can use the speed against the mobility of Bo Nix. So you might want Jamie and Sherwood out on the field in that spot. All right, let's do what we always do. Let's flip the script. When the Jets offense has the ball against the Denver defense. Now, the Broncos, they had a great Sunday against the Buccaneers. 7 sacks, an interception, a fumble recovery. For the year, they have 11 sacks. That is 5th in the National Football League. They're averaging just 259 yards per game allowed. That's 3rd in the NFL. Of course, they have played Tennessee, quarterbacked by Will Levis, and the New England Patriots in 2 of those 3 games. So who do they have up there? Well, of course, John Franklin Myers, who is inexplicably traded, is there. He has sort of been he just plays a good two-way defensive end. Play the run, can play the pass. Another defensive end, Zachallen. Watch out for him. 8 pressures, 4 quarterback hits on Sunday. DeAndre Tillman played his first game in the pros and had 2 sacks. And you look at the linebackers, Olaf Fashanu at right tackle for the Jets is going to get a great test. The Broncos have 2 very good outside linebackers in Jonathan Cooper, who is already up to 11 pressures, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. And if he's not facing Cooper, he'll be facing Nick Bonito, who's pretty dangerous also. Now, Tampa Bay, they were without their left tackle, so they were a little bit beat up on the outside of the OL. Now, Alex Singleton, that's a big loss for the Denver defense. He has a team-high 31 tackles, plays inside linebacker, so you wonder how the Broncos' communication is going to work, how efficient their tackling is going to be. And with the Jets having the running backs that they have, this is a great opportunity for them. So Singleton, all the best to him as he works his way back from a torn ACL. Denver did bring in our old friend Quan Alexander for the practice squad just this week. I'd be surprised if he is active for this game after only 1 practice. And then you go to the secondary. Well, Garrett Wilson's going to have a huge challenge, maybe his biggest of the year, going against Patrick-Surtain. Last week, Surtain limited Mike Evans, one of the best in the league, to 1 catch and 8 yards. Week 1, he held DK Metcalf to 3 catches and 29 yards. Now, he has taken 3 penalties this year, which has helped prevent big gains. But this is a game where your other pass catchers, Mike Williams, Tyler Conklin, Alan Lazard, need to make some plays. Maybe Malachi Corley actually gets a snap this week. Who knows? But don't forget the other side of the cornerback situation here. Riley Moss, he's playing pretty well too. 91.1 PFF grade last week. That was the highest of any cornerback in week 3. Not on the Broncos, in the NFL. All right, so it's not just a given that Lazard and Williams will be able to exploit him on the other side. At safety, Brandon Jones was signed away from the Miami Dolphins when they let Justin Simmons go. That was a player I wanted the Jets to pursue. So far, he's got 11 tackles and an interception. So the Jets, again, they're going to have to run and run well. Here's the thing with the Denver defense, and this is why I've got some optimism about what the Jets can do in this game. They have blitzed on 50% of the offense's dropbacks. So if it's a pass play, half the time, Denver blitzes. That's the highest in the league. Aaron Rodgers knows how to get rid of the ball quickly. He can sense a blitz. He can change the protections around, something that not many Jets quarterbacks have been able to do in the last, 20 years. Okay, so hopefully what the Jets can do here is attack the middle of the field. Let's see if Patrick-Surtain is willing to follow Garrett Wilson into the slot and shadow him all day. And you know what? Even if he is, you can use Tyler Conklin. You can use Jeremy Ruckert maybe. You could use running backs on pass plays and attack the middle of the field. I think that is the Jets' best way to success and scoring points in this game. Now, a couple of other game notes. Will Lutz is the kicker for Denver. The ex-Saint is 9 for 9 on field goals this year, 13 for 13 on all kicks. He made all 6 of his kicks last week and was named AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. So if this gets into a field goal battle, that may not be ideal. Good as Greg Zuerlein has been, that one miss last week was not a great look. And Marvin Mims Jr. does all the returning for Denver, pretty much middle of the road. Not a huge threat there. All right, guys. Well, this is going to be a pretty interesting game. After this, the Jets play a rough gauntlet going into Minnesota, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh, playing those 3 teams. So this is an important game, conference game, to get the win, get the 3-1, and let's see what happens from there. Don't forget, after the game, I will be recording my video, the 3 key plays you may not remember that affected the outcome of the game, so definitely check that out. Enjoy the game, everybody, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.